Hey guys, on this week's TWR, we're going to be talking to Steve from Islands Magazine. It's going to be awesome. Islands coming up. Hey Steve, welcome to the show.
Let's be here.
So you are the digital content director for Islands Magazine,
That's
right?
correct. That's correct.
That's a very cool title, and I'm sure it's a very cool job. While we're down here in the islands, we thought it'd be awesome to sit down and chat with you a bit about what you do and a bit about what you must love and what we love and what a lot of these guys love is being in the islands, man.
Excellent.
All right, very cool. So we had some great ports on this cruise. We're actually on Carnival Liberty, and we enjoyed a great concert, which we'll talk about a little bit, I'm sure, the other night with Journey, which was fantastic. But we had some great ports. Went to San Juan, which is an awesome port, St. Thomas, and Grand Turk. What do you think about the Turks and Caicos?
This is actually my first time to Turks and Caicos.
Okay.
I had been really looking forward to this stop. I've heard it's a diving paradise. I'd heard that the water was great, that the beaches were beautiful, but I was seriously not prepared for the level of beauty that we saw.
That turquoise water is amazing.
It is. We at Islands Magazine, we have some of the best photographers in the world to shoot these kind of locations, and they bring back these photos from these locations that I just marvel at. I think there's no way that in real life these things are as beautiful as your photos.
Right.
When I set foot on Gibbs Key, right off Grand Turk, it was like sprang from the pages of the magazine. I have never seen sand so soft and so white, and water that just lapped it so beautifully. It was really, it was like almost a tearful experience.
Oh wow, that's the way I feel when I get off the boats in different places too, particularly the islands. You know, we were on a cruise once, and I love to tell this story, but my wife and I were doing a Panama Canal cruise, and it was on one of the lines that has a little bit more of a typical demographic of a, let's just say, the older crowd, right? And we're sitting on the front going through the canal, and there's this lovely older Jewish couple there from Miami Beach, Mort and Marge, and they were sitting there. We were having a wonderful conversation with them, my wife and I remember Marge saying to me, well, you know, once you've been to one Caribbean island, you've been to them all. And I thought, no, Marge, that's so wrong. It's really not, because they all do have a flavor of their own, right? The people and the place and everything.
Even this trip, you talk about three distinct places to visit. Grand Turk, very flat, very beautiful, amazing water.
Right.
Perfect for people who love the beach and who love diving.
Yeah.
And then you go someplace like San Juan, or Old San Juan, which is where we were, the island of Old
Sure.
San Juan. Totally full of history. A town that's hundreds and hundreds of years old,
Right.
steeped in history. Amazing forts to view. It's a sightseer's paradise. And then you come to St. Thomas with its huge hills that are, ringing the bay with the cruise ship sitting there and these beautiful yachts filling the bay. You couldn't ask for three better or more diverse ports in the Caribbean.
Sure, and even on St. Thomas, because it's close proximity to St. John, it's an awesome place to visit as well. It's another great little island that,
Sure.
a lot of the excursions from the ships will take you over to St. John, which is, vast majority of it's national park or protected. So pristine beaches there.
Right.
Just really
some
awesome.
of the best snorkeling you'll ever see. St. John's.
Yeah. So getting back to Grand Turk, a few years ago, my wife and I had an opportunity to visit an all-inclusive there, and did a lot of scuba diving there. Their scuba diving program first was ran so much better than a lot of, some of the islands. I don't know what your experience is. I know you're also the digital editor or you're an editor for a couple of scuba diving magazines.
Sure,
in your umbrella of products and things that you guys offer. And some of them in the islands can be a little lax, right? It's like, oh, come on, we'll throw you in the water, man, everything good, But this one, they ran it so well, and they were so professional. I remember we had to jump in the pool, where I had to assemble our gear, jump in the pool, demonstrate neutral buoyancy and a few things, be able to set up your gear, be able to do everything. It's the first time that ever really happened. Most of the time it's just, show your sea card and your dive log maybe, and Yeah, come on, let's go
Yeah.
have a good time. But the diving there was so amazing. It was gorgeous. You know, the reef life, the fish, the reef system, just gorgeous. We had a blast there.
Yeah, when I dive, I usually try to stick to PADI resorts, PADI rated resorts.
Yep.
And if you do that, you seem to eliminate a little bit of the carelessness from the
Yeah,
resorts.
sure.
But Turks and Caicos is full of PADI rated diving centers, so it's a good place to dive. It's a good place even for beginner divers because the water's not too. The currents aren't quite so bad. There's just abundant sea life, great
Right.
corals.
Yeah, it's awesome there. So yeah, Turk was awesome, and you know, I hate to be that typical tourist, but you know, when I went through that Margaritaville, you know, that's a great Margaritaville location there. So I'm gonna go ahead and, you know, give Jimmy Buffett a plug there. That is a beautiful bar that they've got there.
I never miss visiting a Margaritaville. I
Awesome.
live
I'm so
for
glad.
the catfish Reuben.
Oh, very
Yeah.
cool. You know, I don't know if I've ever had that.
I got
so-
to. You haven't been to Margaritaville till you had the catfish
Okay,
Reuben.
I've had fish Reubens in a lot of places, had fish tacos, of course, and love the whole concept of the fish Reuben. You know, so imagine fish, sauerkraut, Thousand Island. I don't know exactly how
Yeah,
Margaritaville
yeah.
does theirs, but catfish. Now that's an interesting slant on it.
Sure,
I
you
dig
bet.
that. All right, cool. Yeah, I love a lot of things there. That 5 o'clock somewhere, yeah, it's not bad. Yeah, it's not bad, but you know, we won't digress into that. So yeah, Grand Turk was just gorgeous, just a beautiful island. So, what is your favorite island? You know, I mean, getting away from this cruise and the islands that we mentioned that we visit, where's your favorite place in the islands to go? What has really surprised you?
This isn't going to be the biggest surprise. I actually prefer Grand Cayman.
Okay.
Now, Grand Cayman, very flat.
Yeah.
No topography to speak of.
Right.
The world's best scuba diving, by far.
Okay.
At least 360 dive spots.
Okay.
There's a dive spot for every day of the year. You've got some of the best food, some of the best beer.
Right.
And it's an easy island to get around. You rent a car. You can drive from one end to the other in 20 minutes.
Right.
If you want to stay in a crowded area of town with lots of tourism and a lot of activity, you stay on 7 Mile Beach. If you want a little bit more privacy and silence, you move over to the east end of the island. Either way, there's something for everybody on Grand Cayman.
Yeah, my wife and I have a little favorite bar there that we discovered a few years ago, and she says she knows the name of it. I still do not know the name of it to this day. I just know where it is, and I just know that they have great buckets of beer there for really, you know, like the local beers, which is wherever we go, that's my wife's thing. She wants a local beer.
Excellent,
So if we're in the
yeah.
islands or if we're in Germany in a beer garden, she won't order the typical tourist fare. She always likes to dive into the local beers. So they have got like great cheap local beers. And good rum drinks and great internet, you know, and so
Yep.
we'll be those tourists for a little while. But it's a great view. They've got like a little. If it were in Germany, it'd be called a beer garden. I don't know what you call it in Grand Cayman, but you know, it's just it's that typical picnic table, umbrella,
Yep.
you know, boats out there, and just a wonderful place to sit and hang out. So
It
I
is.
love Cayman as well. That's
Plus,
awesome.
I mean, the really great thing about it too is it's one of the few islands that has a lot of non-stop flights back to the U.S.
Okay.
So if you are like freezing your butt off up in New York City and you need to get to the Caribbean fast,
Yeah.
Grand Cayman a lot of times
That's your
has
place to go.
nonstop. Yep.
Yeah, years ago we had some friends that lived on Cayman Brac, and so you know,
Ah.
just the smaller of the group.
Sure,
So
yeah.
it's Grand Cayman, Cayman Brac, and Little Cayman.
Little Cayman.
Yeah. So yeah, Cayman Brac was where our friend Lori lived, and got to go and hang out with her a bit, or not hang out with her, but visit her island and find out where she was from and stuff. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
Excellent.
So yeah, I love that. I love that whole area. So, what island thing do you do when you hit an island? What is the thing like? So me, I'm gonna run to the. If they got a Margaritaville, I'm running there. You're gonna have a catfish Reuben. You're gonna stick your toe in the sand. But what island? What thing would you say that maybe nobody else does? That's a Steve thing that you hit the island.
You know, when I was younger, I used to always make senior frogs the default stop at any.
Okay.
But
You've now matured a bit to Margaritaville. I
I've
dig it.
matured to Margaritaville, so there's no more senior frogs. To be honest, these days I actually look for the local culinary adventure.
Okay.
If there's something you can do where you can either participate in making the food,
Right.
or see it made in front of you, to me that's like something you can't really duplicate back home.
Right. John and I, our camera guy, a couple of years ago, a time ago, we visited in Cozumel a chocolate factory where we
nice.
actually ground cocoa beans and made hot chocolate that we could try and that we could take some home with us. It was pretty
Excellent.
cool. And we learned so much. The guy was so into this. They had actually moved there when one of the hurricanes had really done a lot of damage to the part of Mexico where they lived. But they had went to Jalisco, learned all about cocoa and how to make chocolate, and then came to Cozumel and started this experience. So it's really, really cool. So I know what you're saying, as far as finding a thing, and it's just diving into the local culture. That way you're not Marge. That's what separates you from Marge. Not that there's anything wrong, Marge, if you're watching this show. We loved hanging out with you and Morty, I think. But yeah, because they really do all have their own flavor. It's not once you've seen one,
Sure.
you've seen them all.
San Juan had a great excursion on this trip where you got to go and you got to make mofongo.
Yeah.
And so we got to do like a 4-hour walking tour of Old San Juan, and then you end up in this restaurant, and the chef comes up there, and basically you make mofongo from scratch.
Okay.
And then you get to eat it.
All right.
With a mojito.
So for those folks that don't know mojito and mofongo experience, because I don't know from mofongo, so tell us about it. I know it's plantains, right?
So what you do with mofongo is you take plantains, you fry them.
Okay.
You drop them into what basically looks like a little wooden bowl, or like a half a coconut.
Yeah.
You take a
like the what do you call it? The pestle.
Mortar and pestle.
Mortar and pestle.
mortar and pestle. You take a muddler,
Mm-hmm.
big stick, and you grind the plantains until they become like the consistency of mashed potatoes.
Okay.
So you add a little butter and garlic to them. You smear it out into a bowl, make it look like a pie crust, and then on top of that, you can lay down whatever you want. You can lay down chicken, steak, shrimp. When you're done, you flip it over, so it becomes like a little birthday cake.
Okay.
And that is a Puerto Rican specialty. They'll eat it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Okay. Wow. Interesting. So when you're in San Juan, take a walking tour. Go on your own, or there are excursions that you can just do a walking tour around San Juan. But dive into the old city and find that cafe or check out some mofongo. It'd be awesome. So you mentioned in Grand Cayman, if it's freezing in New York, that you can hop on a plane and go there. How do you feel about flying into an island versus what we're doing, cruising into an island and just being there for it's that stop, the boat unloads, everybody hits the town, and
Yeah.
what do you think about that? Has cruising helped the islands, or how do you feel? Do you feel like that day guest at Disney World kind of thing? It's
That's
like,
a good example. I think in my mind personally, cruising is good to getting that first taste of an island. So
Yeah.
if you're going to go and you're going to see the Western Caribbean, so you're going to see Cozumel, Jamaica, Grand Cayman, usually, maybe sometimes Belize. You get to go there for 5 or 6 hours. You get to get a taste of it,
right.
and maybe you make a connection.
Yeah.
Maybe you're wandering around the streets of Grand Cayman and you have a Caribbean meat pie, you have a stingray beer.
Right.
You go and you pet the stingrays at Stingray City, and you make a connection with the island. And then you say, next year I want to come back here and spend some time.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
Right.
Other people, they like the convenience of. I would like the idea of knowing that my bedroom for Grand Cayman was the same bedroom I had for Jamaica, was the same bedroom I'm going to have for Cozumel, and so I understand that level of travel too. So I think it's a combination. I think overall it's helped.
Yeah.
I certainly know that some of these islands probably appreciate people, having that first look and falling in love.
Sure. And that happens a lot of places. We're actually talking with some of the locals when we were in Key West this year. There's a lot of mixed opinions for what the cruise industry has or has not done to Key West, and I think it's the level of participation has a lot to do with it. If you are that tourist who, goes in, visits 3 souvenir shops, and then jumps back on the boat to have lunch, and doesn't really spend money, participate, be friendly and nice
Sure,
to the
yeah,
locals,
that's important,
it's
yeah.
kind of big, when you're there visiting their town or their island,
I'll tell you the key to especially with cruising, because you're only going to be there, 5-6 hours. Research ahead of time.
Yeah.
You go
Good
to
point.
websites like islands.com
Right.
or cruisecritic.com, and you read what other people say, and you read what other people like and what other people suggest.
Right.
And you make the most of your time so that when they drop you off on the island, you don't, like in Key West, you don't just run to Sloppy Joe's. Have a Sloppy Joe, which they sell.
Right.
Buy a T-shirt and then get back on the boat.
Right.
You know that there's other things to visit in Key West, and you take the time to find those places
Sure.
and to reward the people who are nice to you there and show you the insider spots.
Be friendly. Go to Schooner Wharf. That's a recommendation in Key West. You'll love that. It's where a lot of locals hang out. You get some good live music there. All right, so we are on a cruise, and we're enjoying some good live entertainment here We checked out Journey the other night. What did you think of the show? I know we're diverging from the islands now, but I told you we were going to talk about it. So Journey rocked the boat,
Journey,
didn't they, dude?
yes, that was amazing. It's the 5th time I've seen Journey. The 4th time since the new lead singer. I never thought I would ever see Journey on a cruise ship.
Yeah.
But this Carnival Live series, I mean, it's pretty bold. They're taking bands that play in front of 20,000 people.
Journey has just done that on their own.
Oh, yeah.
They're in the middle of a tour right now.
They're selling out. They're selling out their summer tour, and but they took the time to come out here to St. Thomas and do 2 shows in front of easily a crowd that was maybe 2,000,
right?
Probably a little less.
Yeah.
And that place was going crazy. I've seen them 5 times. And I can't remember the last time I heard a crowd that loud. My ears took like a solid day to get back to normal.
Yeah, and you could tell the band, you know, it wasn't like they just came out there and stood and played the hits and left. I mean, they did play the hits, but, you know, they were energetic. They were having a good time.
Yeah.
I think they enjoyed the venue, right?
I think they did. Arnel Pineda, who's the new lead singer now, I've never seen him look so happy and engaged with an audience. And he's a happy guy to begin with.
Right.
But man, I mean, the number of fist bumps he did that night, his fist is probably bruised today.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was an amazing set. 16 songs, 3 solos. I've seen them 5 times. They played a few songs I've never heard them play.
Yeah, I haven't read it yet, but I also heard that you wrote a great review of the show. So we're going to link that up below. If you're curious to find out what Journey played, make sure you click on the link and visit Steve's website, and you can hear a little bit more about the show there. And tell us about that. I mean, you also for a long time have been running a blog that's dedicated to music, and you've interviewed a lot of great musicians and some other cool stuff, right? Tell us about that thing.
So about 10 years ago, I was working for a newspaper over in Tampa Bay, St. Petersburg Times, and we started a podcast called Stuck in the 80s.
Okay.
And the whole idea was we wanted to do something fun that took advantage of the medium, that could use audio, that could use a little personality, and kind of honor a decade that we thought had been, you know, unfairly forgotten. And
should have been forgotten?
No. Unfairly forgotten.
I'm sorry.
I am firmly stuck in the 80s. And so when we started the show, it didn't even have a name, but I think a friend of mine said, you know, I can see you doing that. You really are stuck in the 80s. And ever since then, the term has stuck. So over 10 years, we've done 300 episodes, 333 to be exact.
Wow.
And the blog, there's a blog that goes with it. And for the first 7 or 8 years of the blog, I blogged every single day, 365 days a year, without fail. Now it's only 5 days a week, but still.
Only 5 days a week,
but
folks.
Still.
Yeah, that's an amazing commitment.
Yeah, and so on the podcast and on the blog, it's a lot of interviews with my heroes from back in the 80s.
Okay.
So there's I have one with Steve Perry, the original Journey singer. I have Nancy Wilson from Heart, and Brian Johnson from AC/DC, and Martha Quinn from MTV.
Right.
So about 70 or 80 interviews in all. There's shows about guilty pleasures of the 80s, horrible hits, you know, stuff like that. You know,
one-hit wonders. Do you
one
have
hit
that?
wonders.
Awesome.
So it's a real fun time, and I'm really happy with the response we've gotten. I get emails from Antarctica, Russia, you know, Israel. The fan base is global, and they love it too, and we love them.
All right, and I'm going to ask you to grab your iPad over there, man, because his fans send him gifts. No, I'm not plugging for gifts, guys, but I just thought this was cool. Check this out. Look at there. This is a cover, if you guys are a fan of the movie Back to the Future, from Back to the Future 2. This thing made Biff a lot of money, right?
Oh, yeah. This is what Marty McFly stole
Right.
from the future to bring back, but Biff steals it.
Yeah. And
but it's actually an iPad cover.
And actually, bet on a few sports games and made a few dollars for himself. But that's very cool. So that's definitely an 80s kickback there. Well, awesome! I can't wait to check out your blog and listen to your podcast. It's going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to that. Who? And I know this is the typical question, but who is your favorite interview? Do you have a favorite? Out of 80, you said 70 or 80 you've done? Who was your favorite? Was it Steve Perry?
It was probably Steve Perry.
Really?
Because he's sort of like the Howard Hughes of rock and roll.
Okay.
He doesn't talk to anybody.
Oh, wow.
And it had been years since he had talked to anybody, and anybody had heard of it. And people who are Journey fans are real divided. Now, some people feel it's not Journey without Steve Perry. Other people are a little bit more forgiving, and they enjoy the band the way it is now. I'm kind of both ways, but Steve Perry spent about an hour on the phone with me.
That's awesome.
And we talked about everything from ex-girlfriends to the music he was making in his living room, right now, and and what makes him happy in life.
Okay. And how is he with with Journey the way it is now? And does he have regrets about it? Is he? I know definitely Neil Schon the other night. There's definitely he made a comment about when they wrote
Lights. Yeah. There's
yeah.
I guess there's a bit of a legal battle going on right now over songwriting royalties for the song Lights, and which was a tune from back in the 1970s, based on their hometown of San Francisco.
Right.
So it was a popular song back then. It's still pretty much on every set list that they play, and I guess they're having a little bit of a feud over who wrote how much of the song, which I think is it's a little sad.
And then I guess it comes down to then who gets how much of the money.
Exactly.
Right. That's
exactly.
what's really at the root
Right.
of it. And I will say, before the concert, Steve walks around with a notebook almost constantly because he's a writer, and I admire this, dude. You've inspired me a lot, and. You had a notebook. You had your notebook with you for the show, and you had your set list written down. Not what you hoped they would play, but you were actually not betting, but you wrote down a list of songs, and every song but one was on there, right?
I got 9 out of 10 right.
That's amazing.
Feel pretty good about that.
So we were joking with him. We said for every one he got wrong, he was going to have to take a shot, But he hit it pretty well right on. The first two were just kind of inverted, but you even got the order right on those. So that was awesome. That was great. So, well, listen, Steve, I think that is going to about wrap up our show. Is there any island, we talked about your favorite one, Grand Cayman. Is there any island that you're wanting that, before I don't go to islands anymore, I've got to go to that place? Where's that one?
Oh, man. Iceland.
Okay, wow. Interesting.
Iceland, which you can actually fly to nonstop out of Orlando, of all places.
Okay.
So someday I'd like to take a trip to Iceland.
Okay. Wow. So it's not an island, I guess
It's more of a
Oh no, no,
very
big. No, I'm not mentioning that. I was going to say for me, I was actually going to throw mine in there for a second. I'm looking forward to going to Truck Lagoon. That's one of the places that I'm looking.
South Pacific.
Yeah, it's on my dive bucket list to go and dive Truck Lagoon. I want to go there. Have you ever been to Aruba?
No, never.
Yeah, Aruba is one that's on my bucket list to visit.
Nice.
I have a friend that used to live there for a while, and she's inspired me to really want to go to Aruba. I've never been, and I'm looking forward to that one.
Excellent. I hope you make it there.
All right. Yeah, me too. All right, guys. I hope you make it to some islands. So, Steve, thank you very much for being here.
It's been a pleasure.
Guys, check out his blog. Check out islands.com and see some of the things that he's working on. You can find those links below and visit Steve's site. Drop him a line. Let him know that you checked it out. You liked his work. Visit his Facebook page and check out some of those daily blog posts, because I know some of you guys are stuck in the 80s. I've talked with some of you, and I know you are. You know who you are out there. Yeah, you're kind of stuck in the 80s. I'm a little stuck in the 80s. I think I'm going to do Stuck in Margaritaville. All right, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you right back here next week for another episode of Travel with Rick. So long, everybody.
When it's time to plan your next vacation, you need the experience of someone who can help you make the best decision for your vacation dollars. With over 18 years of experience, Kingdom Magic Vacations can help you plan your next trip to incredible destinations like Disney, Universal, cruises, and all-inclusive destinations. Our team of travel planners are with you every step of the way. All you have to do is relax and enjoy your vacation. We do all the work. Call 866-972-6244 or visit kingdommagic.com to start planning your vacation today.
Hey guys, thanks a lot for watching this week's show. We're here on the beautiful brilliance of the seas. Look at this ship behind me. This whole ship, not this ship, but this whole ship is gorgeous. It's just absolutely beautiful. And this is Schooner Bar, one of our favorite places. We've been hanging out on the ship because it's all nautically themed like this. Just incredible. Listen, we wanted to remind you to drop your email address up there in the upper right hand corner. That way you're signed up for our feed. Every time we put something new here on the blog, you'll be the first to find out about it, and you won't miss a thing. If you want to find out everything else that we're doing, check out our Facebook page, facebook.com/travelwithrick. That's where we put our question of the week. You can find out where we're going, hear what we think about where we've been, and hang out with other Travel with Rick friends. If you're on iTunes or YouTube, we have channels in both of those places as well. So check those out over there. Also, you never know where we're going to be, so check us out right back here next week for another episode of Travel with Rick. So long, everybody.